There comes a moment when a hidden portal cracks open, and Taurus, your frequency begins to roar again. Have you wondered why your chest tightens at dawn? Why old memories flare like signals? Why life feels paused between breaths? Uranus leaving your sign after 8 restless years triggers a revelation long protected in silence, a code Nostradamus himself hinted at, a vision awakening the part of your soul that refused to die. And now, as this activation rises, one truth approaches with unstoppable force. The crown returns, but not the way you expect. Why have you been sensing a shift without understanding its source? Why does the air feel heavy right before dawn, as if an invisible hand touched the room around you? And why, Taurus, has your intuition been pulling you toward memories you believed were buried beneath years of resilience? These questions are not coincidences. They are echoes of a transition 8 years in the making, a transition powerful enough to bend timelines, rewrite inner landscapes, and awaken a depth within you that even you had forgotten existed. For nearly a decade, a restless force moved through your sign like a wandering storm. Uranus does not arrive gently, nor does it depart quietly. It disrupts, breaks structures, dissolves attachments, and forces the soul to confront the parts of life that have become too small. You endured tremors that others mistook for stubbornness. You carried changes that appeared sudden on the outside, but felt like tectonic shifts inside your spirit. And now, as this planet steps away, a silence forms, not emptiness, but clearance. Space where something ancient can return. Before this shift completes its arc, your body starts whispering truths your mind has not yet caught. A tightening in the solar plexus, a breath that feels heavier than usual, a thought that repeats at strange hours. These sensations are not random. They are leftover vibrations from a cycle that tried to push you into evolution long before you were ready to accept it. You survived that cycle, but the universe never intended for you to simply survive. It intended for you to rise from it, transformed. That rising begins now. Somewhere in the background of your days, a subtle synchrony has been forming, objects falling without cause, lights flickering during moments of deep reflection, encounters that seem accidental, yet leave an imprint on your awareness. These are not omens of fear. They are signals indicating that the energetic field surrounding you is recalibrating. When a planet as unpredictable as Uranus exits a sign, it takes with it outdated patterns, beliefs, and narratives that no longer serve the soul's progression. But it also reveals something you were never meant to lose: your rightful sense of sovereignty. For years, responsibilities weighed more than they should. You swallowed your truth to maintain harmony. You carried the emotional weight of others while your own needs were folded and stored away. You believed strength meant silence, endurance, composure. But the universe saw every suppressed desire, every dismissed dream, every moment when your inner voice whispered for change and you answered with hesitation. Uranus held the crown for you during that time, not as punishment, but as protection. You were not ready to carry it then. It would have burned through your hands. But now, with the shaking finally settling, the crown begins to return. This return does not arrive with trumpets or celebration. It arrives as a realization you feel rather than think. Something in you loosens, yet something else tightens with conviction. A clarity begins to rise. You cannot repeat old cycles. You cannot pretend comfort exists in spaces that drained you. You cannot shrink your dreams to fit into roles built for versions of you that no longer exist. This inner clarity is the first sign of your coronation. Subtle, but undeniable. 8 years is not a small span for transformation. It rewires identity. It sharpens instinct. It breaks illusions with precision. You are stepping out of a period marked by tests that shaped your endurance and exposed your hidden strength. The person who entered this transit is not the person who stands here now. That earlier version sought permission. The version emerging today seeks alignment, and alignment changes everything. As external structures shift, your inner landscape begins to reorganize. Ideas return with more maturity, desires sharpen with deeper purpose. Longings you ignored begin to speak louder than your fear. You begin to notice that certain people feel distant, even if they stand near. You sense that certain environments no longer match your internal rhythm. This is not instability, it is energetic truth. You are outgrowing spaces that no longer reflect who you are becoming. When Uranus leaves, the universe stops shaking the ground beneath you and begins guiding you toward the terrain you were meant to inherit all along. And though you may not see the full picture yet, you can feel the weight of something monumental approaching. Not chaos, not loss, but reclamation. Destiny rearranges itself when a long cycle ends, and yours is beginning to align in ways it never could while you were holding on to outdated versions of security. This is the stage where the crown returns, quietly, reverently, inevitably. You may feel unprepared, you may doubt the timing, but destiny does not operate by your comfort. It operates by your readiness, and the universe knows you are ready long before you admit it to yourself. The next chapter begins not with external events, but with this internal awakening, and once awakened, nothing remains the same. Now, Taurus, seal this moment with a decree that anchors what is rising within you. I reclaim the power that returns to me now. Let it resonate through your chest. Let it echo through your timeline. Let it call back every fragment of strength you had to set aside just to survive. And if this message stirred something inside you, leave your hype on this video, like, share, and consider becoming a member of the channel. Every hype strengthens this current, expands this space, and carries this light to other souls who need it as much as you did. You've begun sensing it, haven't you? A subtle rearrangement in the air around you, a quiet shift inside familiar routines, a strange certainty rising from a place you cannot name. It feels as if life is leaning toward you, waiting for a response you haven't yet spoken. And still, Taurus, you hesitate. Why? What part of you still clings to what no longer belongs to your unfolding destiny? This is the question the universe presses into your awareness now, because when a long cycle ends, the energy that emerges does not ask for explanations, it asks for recognition. You're stepping into a phase where the rhythms of your days begin syncing with forces you didn't dare acknowledge during the last 8 years. Why now? Because your spirit finally carries the stability required to understand what once frightened you. Uranus never moves through a sign without leaving a mark. In your case, it carved a path through every corner of your identity. It stripped illusions, peeled back layers you thought were permanent, exposed patterns borrowed from old fears, and forced you to face truths you once avoided for the sake of peace. And now, as this planet finally withdraws its disruptive frequency, it leaves behind a quiet clarity that feels both unsettling and liberating. Have you noticed how your reactions are changing? How you no longer tolerate certain behaviors? How conversations feel different? How your intuition speaks faster than your mind can interpret? These shifts are not random. They are the first signs of a new inner architecture rebuilding itself after years of upheaval. You're being shaped into someone who no longer settles for what barely sustains your spirit. There is a reason why you feel distant from certain people, why some connections feel hollow, even if they used to comfort you, why silence feels wiser than explanations. You are not withdrawing, you are recalibrating. The version of you that desperately needed approval is fading. The version emerging demands authenticity. And this shift is not merely emotional, it is energetic. Your field is rearranging itself in ways others cannot see, but everyone can sense. Some individuals will be drawn closer, as if compelled by a gravitational pull they do not understand. Others will retreat, feeling subconsciously overwhelmed by your growing presence. Why does this happen? Because when you remember your worth, the world responds accordingly. For 8 years, life pushed you to make choices you were unprepared to face. Moments where you stood at thresholds and chose safety over expansion. Times where you compromise parts of yourself to maintain a balance that was never truly balanced. Now, with Uranus stepping away, those old compromises begin to crumble. You no longer fit into those smaller versions of yourself, and the universe refuses to let you shrink again. This is why you've been restless, why your sleep feels different, why your dreams have become more symbolic. The soul communicates through imagery when words fail, and lately, symbols have been louder than logic. Doors, corridors, long roads, crowns, water rising. These visions are not imagination. They are guidance. They prepare you for choices that will define the next chapter of your timeline. What if the life you built during the last 8 years was only a bridge? What if everything you lost was preparation? What if the very things that broke you were the lessons that forged the person capable of carrying what comes next? These questions hold the essence of the transformation now unfolding. You may find yourself revisiting old memories, not to relive them, but to reinterpret them. Experiences that once hurt now reveal a deeper purpose. People who disappointed you taught boundaries. Situations that exhausted you taught discernment. And every moment you questioned your strength became evidence that you were being trained for something larger than your immediate circumstances. Your resilience was not survival, it was initiation. This is why the energy around you feels different now. Something is returning to you, but not from the outside world. It rises from within, like a forgotten flame reigniting, a sense of dignity that cannot be negotiated, a clarity that refuses to dim, a purpose that pulls you forward with a force quiet yet undeniable. And here lies a truth you must face. You are not the same person who entered this 8-year cycle. You are stronger, you are sharper, you are wiser. You are heavier with truth and lighter with illusion. What does this mean for your path ahead? It means your decisions will soon redefine your trajectory. Your choices will shape not only your present, but the creative force of your future. You cannot approach these choices with the same hesitation that once held you back. You cannot pretend you're unaware of the direction your soul is urging you to follow. So the universe will ask you, repeatedly, insistently, to step toward what aligns and away from what drains. Will you listen? Will you trust the voice rising inside you? Or will you question yourself again, even though every sign points toward movement? This next phase requires courage, not explanation, ownership, not apology, presence, not fear. And Taurus, whether you see it clearly or not, the crown returning to you symbolizes something far greater than recognition. It symbolizes restoration, an inner authority awakening after years of suppression. Everything you feel now is leading you toward that restoration. There is a moment in every transformation where the past and future collide, not with violence, but with recognition. You may already sense this collision forming in subtle ways. A sudden clarity, a name resurfacing in your thoughts, a memory returning without warning. Why now? Why these particular impressions? Because when a long cycle releases its final thread, the universe reopens the chapters that require closure, reintegration, or redirection. For 8 restless years, you adapted to disruptions that reshaped your identity. You moved through seasons where you felt pushed into choices you never expected to confront. You were asked to abandon illusions, dismantle outdated attachments, and surrender control at moments when control felt like your only anchor. And now, as Uranus steps away, the world around you begins to feel strangely familiar, yet entirely new. Why does this duality feel so strong? Because the life you're stepping into resembles a forgotten version of yourself, one you abandoned long before you realized you needed it. There is a stirring inside you, Taurus, a pull toward possibilities you once dismissed. You may catch yourself wondering, why am I thinking about this again? Why does this desire feel so urgent now? The answer is simple. The parts of you silenced during the chaotic years are resurfacing with more authority than ever before. Not to disrupt you, to guide you back to your original path. In this phase, the questions appear before the answers. What do you truly want without fear shaping your response? Which dreams belong to you, not to expectations built around you? And perhaps the most important, what are you willing to release to reclaim the life you were meant to build? These questions are not rhetorical, they are invitations, and the universe will not allow you to ignore them much longer. You may notice how environments you once tolerated now feel too small. Conversations that once felt comfortable now feel draining. Responsibilities that once defined your stability now feel misaligned. Why is this happening? Because your vibration is shifting away from survival and moving towards self-honor. Everything that doesn't match that frequency begins to dissolve, no matter how tightly you try to hold it. This dissolution can appear subtle or sudden. Someone becomes distant. A routine feels heavy. An opportunity you expected to pursue no longer excites you. And yet, in the middle of this quiet unraveling, you sense an undercurrent of potential rising beneath the surface. Something is forming, though you cannot articulate it. Something is preparing to enter your life, though you don't know its shape yet. What if this something is the person you are becoming? The identity that emerges after prolonged transformation rarely resembles the one that carried you through the earlier years. You are learning to distinguish real strength from endurance, real peace from resignation, real purpose from routine, and these distinctions shift the foundation beneath your choices. This is why you may feel caught between two worlds, one familiar but constricting, the other vast but undefined. You stand at the threshold between these realities, sensing that movement is necessary, but unsure which direction calls with greater truth. This uncertainty is not weakness. It is the natural tension that arises when destiny expands beyond the structures you once relied on. As you navigate this transition, you may also notice returning symbols, the same number repeating in strange places, the same dream resurfacing over consecutive nights, the same message appearing through different sources. Why do these patterns intensify now? Because your intuition has entered a heightened state, sharpened by the release of past limitations. The universe communicates more clearly when the soul is no longer trapped by fear, and your soul, Taurus, is no longer trapped. Another sign emerges, a growing ability to sense what is ending long before it actually concludes. You may feel a fading connection, even as the other person insists nothing is wrong. You may foresee an ending in your career without any visible evidence. You may sense an opening approaching, though you cannot yet identify its form. How do you explain this? You don't. You feel it, because instinct strengthens when clarity returns. Yet with this deeper awareness comes a challenge. Will you trust what you feel, even when it contradicts what you see? Will you honor your intuition, even when logic demands caution? Will you choose alignment over comfort, even when the path ahead remains unclear? These are not simple questions. They are thresholds, and crossing them requires courage anchored in self-recognition. During these transitional days, you may find yourself gravitating towards solitude, not isolation, sacred stillness. This quiet space allows you to hear the voice beneath the noise, the one that speaks not from fear, but from knowing. What is this voice telling you? What truth has been rising inside your body long before it reached your mind? Listen closely. The crown returning to you symbolizes sovereignty, not dominance. It signals the restoration of authority over your life. The restoration of inner power lost through years of compromise. The restoration of dreams postponed but never forgotten. This is your time to reclaim what was borrowed from you by circumstances you did not choose. But reclaiming requires action. The universe may soon place a decision before you, one that forces you to choose between who you were and who you are becoming. Will you cling to the comfortable but limiting past, or will you step toward the uncertain but expansive future? The world around you cannot answer this. Only your spirit can. The next phase will not wait for hesitation. It will move with or without your consent. But if you move with it, consciously, intentionally, everything shifts. Doors open faster, paths clear more easily, opportunities align with surprising precision, and the life that once felt out of reach begins to take form. This is the threshold of transformation. This is where the 8-year storm ends. This is where the crown, carried in silence, begins its return. There comes a stage in every awakening where the external world begins to mirror the internal shift with uncanny accuracy. You might already be noticing it, subtle changes in tone when someone speaks to you, an unexpected opportunity surfacing at the exact moment you contemplated giving up, a strange sensation of déjà vu repeating itself in situations that should feel ordinary. Why does everything appear so synchronized now? Because when a long planetary cycle releases its grip, the universe rearranges energy faster than your mind can process. As Uranus completes its departure from your sign, the space around you responds. You may find conversations steering toward truths you avoided for years. You may sense the emotional weather of others more sharply than before. You may witness encounters that feel orchestrated by an intelligence far beyond logic. What if these encounters are not coincidences, but alignment signals? What if each interaction is a thread, pulling you closer to a purpose that was waiting beneath layers of endurance? During the last 8 years, life demanded that you evolve without comfort. You were pushed through internal doorways you resisted. You released beliefs that once defined your identity. You confronted cycles that repeated until you understood why they were repeating. Now, with the turbulence easing, you stand in a different landscape, one shaped by the choices you made under pressure. And as these lessons settle, the universe begins unveiling what was hidden behind them. This unveiling is not loud. It is subtle, almost secretive, like a curtain shifting in a room with no wind, a whisper of recognition, a faint pull towards something you cannot yet name. Have you felt it? That inward tilt like life is leaning closer, that quiet urgency inside you, urging you to pay attention? The truth is simple. Your timeline is expanding, your intuition is amplifying, your old fears are dissolving, and as this expansion intensifies, the world around you moves accordingly. But here lies the challenge. Expansion requires the courage to step beyond what once defined your sense of stability. Have you noticed how old stories are falling apart faster than you can cling to them? A belief you once defended no longer makes sense. A bond you once cherished feels out of rhythm. A dream you once pursued now feels outdated. Why does this happen after such a long cycle? Because Uranus never leaves without initiating a profound realignment that continues long after its transit ends. Part of this realignment involves facing truths you've postponed, emotional truths, practical truths, spiritual truths, the kind that shape your choices in ways you can no longer ignore. What truth has been whispering in the back of your mind lately? What realization have you been circling but not naming? You are being asked to acknowledge it now, because truth is the foundation of your new path. Without it, nothing can stabilize. With it, everything can transform. Another layer of this transition involves recognizing the relationships that support your evolution versus those that restrict it. Have you recently felt a sudden clarity about someone's presence in your life? A shift in how you perceive their intentions? A sense that certain individuals belonged only to the version of you that existed before this transformation began? These sensations are not imagination. They are intuition identifying alignment and misalignment before you consciously understand why. As your energy rises, people connected to your past frequency may either elevate with you or drift away. This drifting is not a rejection. It is energetic truth unfolding in real time. And as the world around you adjusts, you may experience an unexpected surge of independence, a desire to stand alone, not from isolation, but from sovereignty. Do you feel it? That sense that your decisions must now reflect your authentic self, rather than obligations inherited from older versions of you. Your spirit is reclaiming authority. This reclamation also manifests through a new sense of direction. Even if you cannot see the full path yet, you may feel pulled toward unfamiliar territory, both internally and externally. A shift in professional ambition, a change in emotional needs, a new hunger for meaning. Why does this hunger grow now? Because your soul remembers what it suppressed during the years of upheaval, and it refuses to be silenced any longer. There is something else rising in this phase, a return of confidence that feels almost foreign after years of uncertainty. A firmness in your voice, a clarity in your boundaries, a refusal to be minimized. This is the crown beginning to settle, not on your head, but in your spirit. Authority does not arrive through dominance. It arrives through certainty, and certainty is returning to you one insight at a time. You may also begin noticing increased magnetism. People may respond to you differently, sensing your evolving energy, even if they do not understand its origin. Invitations may appear out of nowhere. Conversations may deepen unexpectedly. You may find yourself attracting opportunities that once felt beyond your reach. Why now? Because when you step into alignment, life meets you halfway. As you walk through these days, remember this: the universe does not remove without preparing to replace. Whatever feels like it's fading is making room for something that can hold the weight of who you're becoming. Whatever feels uncertain is carving space for a reality built on clarity rather than compromise. Whatever feels unfinished is the bridge leading you toward your next revelation, and this next revelation will not resemble anything you've known before. For 8 years, Uranus shook your foundation so you could discover your real structure beneath it. It shattered the false so the authentic could rise. It dismantled the fragile so the strong could emerge. Now, the universe is preparing to return the crown you were always meant to carry, not because you've earned it, but because you've grown into it. What will you do when it finally settles into place? Will you trust your new authority? Will you honor the wisdom born from years of upheaval? Will you step forward without shrinking from your own power? Everything in your timeline is waiting for your answer. There is a point in every awakening where hesitation becomes impossible. You may be approaching that point now, a crossroads forming quietly at the edge of your awareness, as if destiny itself is waiting for you to take a breath before it reveals what comes next. Have you noticed how your intuition speaks faster lately? How you sense endings before they occur and beginnings before they become visible? This heightened perception is not coincidence. It is the final activation that follows an 8-year initiation. As Uranus leaves your sign, a vacuum occurs, not of emptiness but of potential. And into that potential, something profound is entering. You may feel it as a vibration in your chest, a pull behind your sternum, a weight lifting off your shoulders without warning. Why does it feel both strange and familiar? Because the energy returning to you now is something you surrendered long ago, not out of weakness but necessity. You couldn't carry sovereignty while survival consumed you. But survival is no longer your story. This closing chapter brings an unveiling, a revelation that arrives like a soft knock in the middle of a quiet room. You may receive unexpected news. You may stand face to face with someone who shaped your past in ways you only now understand. You may confront an inner truth that has been echoing beneath every choice you've made. And when it arrives, will you turn away? Or will you acknowledge the message that has been trying to reach you for years? A new version of your identity has been gathering strength beneath layers of silence. You've outgrown the fears that once controlled your decisions. You've outgrown the roles that minimized your inner wisdom. You've outgrown relationships built on patterns rather than presence. And now, something inside you rises with undeniable clarity. A refusal to shrink into spaces that no longer resonate with who you are becoming. This transformation may cause friction. Some will feel discomfort in your presence without understanding why. Others will sense your expanding energy and feel drawn toward it, seeking guidance or connection. And you may find yourself standing in moments where you must decide, do you shrink to protect the comfort of others, or do you allow your truth to take its rightful place? Your answer will shape the next 8 years of your life. This is why the universe keeps sending signs, repeating numbers, recurring dreams, sudden shifts in emotion, vivid intuition. Each sign is a signal. Something is about to unlock, and the unlocking will require your participation. What are you willing to release for the sake of your evolution? What fear still holds your voice? What story still convinces you that you're not ready? Consider this. The power returning to you was never lost. It was guarded, held behind invisible doors until you could carry it without bending under its weight. Uranus didn't take your crown away. It protected it through years of upheaval and internal reconstruction. And now, as the final pieces of this cycle settle into alignment, the crown begins its descent back toward your spirit. You may notice a new sense of certainty forming within you, not loud, not boastful, but steady, like a drumbeat beneath your breath. This certainty reveals itself through decisions you make faster than before, through boundaries you no longer negotiate, through silence that carries more weight than your words once did. This is your authority returning. As the dust of these years settles, you stand at the threshold of a new era, one where your choices reflect your soul, not your wounds. One where your direction is determined by clarity, not pressure. One where your relationships are built on reciprocity rather than obligation. One where your identity finally aligns with the truth you avoided for far too long. The universe asks you one final question before this cycle seals. Are you ready to choose the life that was meant for you, not the one you learned to tolerate? This question is the gate, and when you walk through it, everything shifts. Your environment begins to match your frequency. Your steps align with your deeper purpose. Your future rearranges itself around your authenticity. This is not coincidence. It is cosmic response. And so, Taurus, the cycle concludes here, not with collapse, but coronation, not with fear, but recognition, not with loss, but restoration. Your crown returns not as a symbol of status, but as a reminder of the authority your soul carries by birthright. You are stepping into a chapter defined by alignment, purpose, and sovereignty, a chapter shaped by who you have become, not who you were forced to be. The universe has waited 8 long years for this moment. Now the path ahead waits for your first step.